Hello, I am Brock Stanton. I'm an aspiring meteorologist, and today we're going to be taking a look at my personal forecast for tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 15th, and we're looking at some winter weather coming into the picture. There's the winter weather advisory in effect, but I want to show my personal forecast, also just show a little bit of our product from the National Weather Service, just for the sake of comparison and trying to communicate how the uncertainties we still have. I do want to start taking a look at the uncertainty, just because that's something that's really unusually high for an event being this close. I mean, it's going to start by 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, most likely, but yet by our snowfall amount, which will come a little later, but our snowfall amounts, according to our National Weather Service, which I agree with this, by the way, our well-end amounts, meaning there's a 90% chance of us getting more snow than this, is 90% chance we get more than nothing, but that inherently suggests there's a 10% chance that we get no snow tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get sleet, we'll get freezing rain, but there's a 10% chance we get no snow tomorrow. And our high-end amounts, meaning a 1 in 10 chance of higher snowfall, is about 3 inches. So, about a 1 in 10 shot of us getting snowfall greater than 3 inches. So that's considering the fact that this event is starting in less than 12 hours, that's a fair bit of uncertainty. By fair bit, I mean a lot of uncertainty. Anyway, let's get down a little more into my personal forecast. I just wanted to try and explain that uncertainty a little bit. I'll discuss it a little more later. But what I'm expecting, as I alluded to earlier, wintry precipitation, probably freezing rain quickly transitioning to sleet, starting at around 5 a.m. And then that's going to continue as primarily sleet till around noon. And then we could kind of see all sorts of precipitation come in, maybe some more freezing rain, maybe continuing as sleet, and then snow, maybe even a little bit of rain. But then in the early afternoon hours, we're going to transition over to snow, and we should see some moderate to heavy snowfall during this time period. And then during the late afternoon or early evening, we're going to transition to rain, and then our winter weather will be over. As for our total amounts for ice or freezing rain accretion, we're expecting up to 0.1 inches, which is not that much, but given the fact, expect that we already have sleet falling with that it's just enough to make traveling conditions just a little bit more, you just gotta be just a little bit more cautious. Sleet amounts, our sleet accumulations are expected to be around ½ an inch, and our snowfall totals of 1 to 3 inches, though like I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of uncertainty, especially with that snowfall total. I have a relatively high confidence in my sleet and freezing rain forecast. My snowfall forecast, though, there's a lot more uncertainty left with that, and I'll show you why in a moment. But just to round out the forecast, so for rainfall amounts, we're expecting around ½ an inch. That could vary a little bit depending on when we change over, but that's generally what I'm expecting. And then winds could probably gust to up around maybe 30 miles per hour during this time period, so some pretty gusty winds as well. And then I wanted to try and explain why we're having this uncertainty. So these are two different models, and each what they're showing the air temperature basically to look like at 2 p.m. So we have one here which shows heavy wet snow. I know the plausible, like the best guess precip type says rain, but what we see here is, if you remember to what I said in the video yesterday, if not, I'll remind you here, we have these two blue lines here. I highlighted them to make them clearer, but basically, if you're to the left of the right blue line, sorry if that sounded kind of confusing, your temperature is below freezing. So here it's all below freezing, below freezing, below freezing, all the way to right at the surface. So what that's suggesting is that while it does say rain, it's probably going to be snow, but it's just a really heavy wet snow that's kind of starting to melt as it gets to the ground, but it will still be snow. But you can see that's a very marginal profile for snow, a degree warmer in the mid-levels, and it's going to be falling as rain. And then here we can see how that looks like. Here this is a different model, and we can see that we go over 32 degrees Fahrenheit here, and then we go back under, so that would normally be sleet or freezing rain, but because we go back to 33 degrees, then it will melt and become rain. It's a very close call with the mid-level temperatures and how they're going to interact. Even here, if this was a degree colder, we could still be seeing sleet or freezing rain with this sounding here on the right. But in general, what I want you to take away from this is that while there is a lot of uncertainty with the snowfall forecast, there's still going to be winter weather impacts into the morning and afternoon hours tomorrow. Even if we don't see quite as much snow as expected, there's still going to be a fair bit of sleet and some freezing rain, so that's going to cause travel disruptions regardless. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.